Another video. Looked like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her infamous 22 number to a new one.
Team USA just made a move that has basketball fans absolutely fired up. They're forcing Caitlin Clark to give up her iconic number 22, the same number she rocked through her legendary college run and her entire time in the WNBA. The backlash is exploding online, and the energy is wild. Now, Team USA might be realizing they stepped straight into one of the biggest controversies in women's basketball. Before we break this all the way down, think about this for a second. Should Caitlin have been able to keep her number 22? Or is this just the usual way Team USA handles things? Because once you hear everything that went down, your whole perspective might flip. Let's talk about what actually happened here, because this situation is wild enough to make you wonder if anyone at Team USA headquarters even paused for 1 second to think. Caitlin Clark, the face of women's basketball right now, the player who pulled millions of new fans into the sport, is being forced to switch her number for Team USA training camp. Not asked, not offered a choice, but straight up told to change it. And the number they're giving her? 17, a number that means nothing to her. Nothing to her crowd, and nothing to the legacy she's been building. Before anything else, let's get one thing completely clear. Caitlin Clark's number 22 isn't just a number. It's a whole brand. It's her identity. It's the number she wore when she shattered Pete Maravich's all-time college scoring record. It's the number she wore when she carried Iowa to back-to-back national championship games. And now they want her to toss all that aside like it doesn't matter? That's the part that has fans absolutely stunned. It's the number she wore during her entire college journey, the number that turned her into a household name, and the same number she's been repping with the Indiana Fever while she keeps climbing in the pro game. That number 22 is stamped into women's basketball history, and everybody knows it. In women's hoops, the number 22 is just as recognizable as 23 is in men's basketball. The moment you see a jersey with 22 on the back, you instantly think Caitlin Clark, no hesitation. But somehow, Team USA either missed that memo, or even worse, they got the memo and acted like it didn't matter. Because when the roster for the December training camp in North Carolina came out, there it was in plain text. Caitlin Clark, number 17, not 22. The whole basketball world went into shock, and people were heated. And here's where things get even more unbelievable. When you look through the full roster for this camp, guess what number nobody else is wearing? 22. It's literally sitting wide open. It's not like Aja Wilson is on this specific roster rocking 22, or like there was a battle between two players. The number is completely free, untouched, unused, and somehow they still told Caitlin to switch. How does that even make sense? It's not like there's some longtime Team USA veteran who's held 22 for years with seniority built in. There's no legacy claim, no conflict, nothing. The number is just sitting there waiting to be used, and they still made Caitlin change. Someone explain that, because it sounds wild. The only explanation anyone can come up with is that Team USA has some random internal rule about assigning numbers based on seniority, previous USA experience, or some old school system that values tradition over basic common sense. And honestly, that type of tone-deaf thinking is exactly what gets organizations into messy situations.
But shit, I don't want to hear it. Asia, Cameron, or Cheryl Swift, nobody knew that. Nobody knew they wore 22. Stop that. The fact that Clark and Wilson were on the same 2025 WNBA All-Star team caught the attention, if only because there was some question about a shared number and how it would be handled. Ultimately, it didn't matter because Clark was out, of course, with the groin injury.
Because while they're busy congratulating themselves for sticking to their rule book, they're ignoring the bigger picture. What Caitlin Clark means to the sport right now. And the funniest part? When you check that roster again, it really does look like nobody is wearing number 22. Let's break down the optics here, because this situation is wild. This is the same Team USA organization that left Caitlin off the Olympic roster earlier in the year. The same group that said they were going with experience and veteran leadership, while the whole basketball world stared in disbelief as the most popular player in women's basketball got left out. And now, when they finally bring her into a training camp, the first thing they do is take away her signature number. That's not just a bad look, it's a terrible one. This whole thing makes people wonder if Team USA just doesn't understand how important Caitlin is to the sport right now. Or even worse, maybe they do understand, and they're still choosing to downplay her impact. Because here's the truth that seems to be slipping right past them. Caitlin Clark is bigger than Team USA at this moment, and that's not disrespect toward the program or the incredible players who've worn the red, white, and blue before her. It's simply acknowledging how huge her influence has become. Caitlin has brought millions of new fans into women's basketball, and people know her by that number 22. She's been packing out arenas that used to have empty seats everywhere. She turned women's college basketball and the WNBA into must-watch entertainment. And a massive part of that branding is her number 22 shining on her back. So when Team USA forces her to switch numbers, even if it's just for training camp, they're basically telling all the new fans she introduced to the sport that their connection to her doesn't matter. They're acting like the brand she built doesn't matter. They're signaling that the identity she created doesn't matter. Because Team USA has rules, and apparently those rules must be followed even when they make no sense in this situation. This decision just feels off in every way. Let's be straight about something here, because this goes way beyond Caitlin Clark's feelings or her personal brand. This is about the business side of women's basketball and how massive the commercial wave could be if Team USA actually leaned into it. Whether they admit it or not, a Team USA jersey with Caitlin Clark wearing number 22 would explode in sales. Parents would be grabbing those jerseys for their kids who look up to her, and collectors would be hunting for that piece that ties her college legacy and her WNBA run to her international career. But Caitlin Clark wearing number 17 for Team USA? That's just confusing. It creates this weird break between the player everyone knows and the jersey she's suddenly wearing. And that disconnect hits the money side hard, even if Team USA hasn't realized it yet. That number switch isn't just a small detail. It's a branding misstep that could cost them big time. Now, some folks are trying to argue that this is just how international basketball works, or that FIBA has certain rules or Team USA has old school traditions, or that no single player should be bigger than the team. And under regular circumstances, sure, that might make sense. But these are not regular circumstances at all. We're not talking about just any player here. We're talking about someone who flipped the entire women's basketball landscape on its head. Someone who brought a level of attention, revenue, and excitement the sport has never seen before. Whether Team USA wants to admit it or not, she is the face of women's basketball in America right now. And moving like her impact doesn't matter, just feels off. And the backlash? It hit exactly the way everyone expected. The second the roster with numbers dropped, social media went into full meltdown mode. Fans were frustrated, analysts were scratching their heads, and even people who don't normally follow women's basketball were chiming in about how strange this decision was. From the outside looking in, it feels like Team USA is making things unnecessarily complicated for the biggest star they've got, and people aren't ignoring it. What makes this whole situation even more frustrating is that Team USA actually had a perfect chance to fix things after leaving Caitlin off the Olympic roster earlier this year. They had a real opportunity to show they understood her impact on the sport and what she brings to the national team program. They could have welcomed her into training camp with some respect, acknowledged everything she's done, and let her rock the number that everybody connects to her career. But instead, they went the complete opposite direction. They treated her like she was just another name on the list, followed their strict rules with zero thought about the context, and sparked another controversy that makes them look totally disconnected from what's happening in women's basketball right now. And here's the part they don't seem to be thinking about. This December training camp is going to get a massive amount of media attention, not because the camp is big news, but because Caitlin Clark is going to be there. Reporters are going to ask about the number switch. Fans are going to talk about it non-stop. And every single story that comes out of that camp is going to mention that Caitlin had to give up her signature number. That's not the narrative Team USA wants floating around, but it's the one they just created for themselves. And you have to wonder what's happening behind the scenes, because even though Caitlin is absolutely a team-first person who's going to do whatever is needed, there's no way she's thrilled about this. There's no way her agent is thrilled about this. And there's definitely no way her sponsors, the same companies that invested millions into the Caitlin Clark brand, a brand that heavily includes that number 22, are happy watching this go down. This is exactly the kind of decision that builds quiet tension and frustration, even if nobody says a word about it in public. And think about the other players on this roster for a second. How do you think they're viewing all this? On one hand, no athlete wants to be the person who makes noise about jersey numbers and ends up looking entitled. But on the other hand, if you're a veteran on Team USA, you're watching the organization frustrate the biggest star in women's basketball over something as small as a jersey number, and you've got to be asking yourself if that's really the move they want to make right now. These players understand better than anybody that Caitlin Clark's popularity benefits the entire league and the whole national program. When she brings new fans into women's basketball, those fans don't just watch Caitlin. They explore the whole sport. They learn about everybody. They buy tickets to all kinds of games. A rising tide lifts every boat, and Caitlin Clark is the biggest tide the sport has ever seen. Now, the comparison to Aja Wilson is worth breaking down, because a few articles brought this up. Aja also wears number 22 for the Las Vegas Aces, and people wondered what would happen if both players wanted the same number on Team USA. But here's the key difference. Aja Wilson has been a cornerstone for Team USA for years. She's an Olympic champion, she has seniority, and she's been part of the program forever. So if there was ever a conflict between Aja and Caitlin over number 22, it would make sense for Team USA to lean toward Aja based on her long history. But Aja isn't even on this training camp roster, which makes that entire argument irrelevant in this situation. The number wasn't taken, it wasn't reserved, it was just ignored. What's really interesting is what this decision says about Team USA's overall approach to Caitlin Clark. From the outside, it looks like they're trying to treat her like any other player. And sure, that might sound noble on paper, but in real life, it just doesn't line up with the reality of where women's basketball is right now. Caitlin's influence is different, her impact is different, and the attention she brings is on another level. Acting like she's just another name on the roster feels completely disconnected from the moment the sport is living in. Caitlin Clark is not just another player. She's a once-in-a-generation talent who has shifted the entire direction of women's basketball. Acting like she's just one more name on a roster, whether by leaving her off the Olympic team or making her switch out of her signature number, makes Team USA look either completely unaware or straight up petty. And the phrase instant regret in the title of this video is no exaggeration, because Team USA is already feeling the pressure from this decision, and the training camp hasn't even started yet. The online reaction has been nonstop. Social media has been on fire. People are posting breakdowns, analysts are calling out the decision, and articles about Team USA mishandling Caitlin Clark keep popping up everywhere. And you better believe that once December hits and cameras start rolling inside that North Carolina training camp, the sight of Caitlin wearing number 17 is going to be the focus of half the coverage. That number switch is going to follow this camp like a shadow, and it's going to distract from everything Team USA actually planned. And honestly, that might be the saddest part of the whole thing. This training camp should be a celebration. It should be the moment where people get excited about the next generation of Team USA talent. Caitlin Clark, Juju Watkins, Paige Bueckers, and so many others. It should be a chance to build hype for the future of women's basketball and spark real excitement for upcoming international play. Instead, the whole vibe is getting overshadowed by a controversy that never needed to happen in the first place, all over a jersey number that nobody besides Team USA leadership thought was an issue. At some point, organizations have to recognize that being technically correct according to their internal rules doesn't automatically make the decision smart. Team USA might have every policy-based reason to assign numbers however they want, but there's a huge difference between having the right to do something and doing what's actually right for the moment, for the sport, and for the fans. And in this situation, forcing Caitlin Clark to wear number 17 instead of the iconic 22, everyone knows her for might be allowed under their guidelines, but from every other angle that matters, it's completely the wrong call. Team USA is feeling some instant regret right now, and honestly, they should be. They had a perfect chance to show support for their biggest star, to prove they understand what she's done for women's basketball, and to turn this training camp into a wave of positive hype. Instead, they went with strict rules over common sense, tradition over smart marketing, and stiff policies over real connection. And now they're dealing with the blowback from every angle. Fans are fired up. The press is dropping negative stories left and right, and the whole situation is painting Team USA as disconnected from the moment and totally out of sync with what the sport needs right now. This could have been a moment to unite fans and push women's basketball even higher, but instead, it's turned into a storyline that makes the organization look petty and old school. So here we are. Team USA forced Caitlin Clark to give up her legendary 22 and replace it with number 17. And the entire basketball world is calling them out for it. Was this move really necessary, or is Team USA missing the bigger picture completely? And now we've reached the end of this wild storyline, and the energy around it is louder than ever. Team USA thought this jersey switch would slide by unnoticed, but instead, it turned into one of the most talked about moments in women's basketball, and the fallout is still growing by the hour. Fans are calling it strange, analysts are calling it unnecessary, and the whole situation has everybody asking what Team USA is really thinking. Because here's the truth people keep repeating. Caitlin Clark didn't just earn her place in the spotlight, she changed the entire ecosystem of the sport. She boosted ratings, packed arenas, and pulled millions of new eyes into women's hoops, all while wearing that number 22. And when an athlete has that kind of influence, the decisions around them need real awareness. Not cold rules that ignore reality. But instead of embracing the moment, Team USA created chaos over a number that wasn't even claimed by anyone else. And now they're sitting in the middle of a storm that could have been avoided with one simple choice. Fans aren't forgetting this move anytime soon, and the training camp in December is going to be a pressure cooker with cameras zoomed in on every detail. So here's the real question everyone's buzzing about. Was this decision truly justified, or did Team USA just expose how out of touch they've become with the new era of women's basketball? Because from the outside, it looks like they stirred up drama for no reason at all. If you want the real updates, the behind-the-scenes whispers, and the unfiltered breakdowns as they drop, make sure you lock in with Courtside Leaks, the spot where the real stories hit first. We've got every angle covered, every leak, every backstage twist, every moment they won't show you. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this video. Stay locked in with Courtside Leaks, your home for the truth behind the WNBA headlines.